Welcome to the very first episode of the Achievers Club podcast show. I'm your host, and I'm going to bring on a lot of guests. Those are not just achievers in terms of trading or investing, but those are the people, those who are experts into their own topics, and they have achieved a lot of results, literally a lot of results. And right now, they are having their own missions and they are having their own communities, they are having their own hubs, and so on. But I'm going to bring on a lot of new guests. Those are going to help you in order to have step-by-step formulas, step-by-step foundation for yourself in order to achieve success in every aspect of life. And no matter what your current situation is all about, if you are ready to achieve massive success into your life, for long-term growth, you can consider not just short-term success like one hype and then again at level zero. It should be something where you are achieving success for rest of your life, and it's like an exponential growth which you are actually aspiring for. So this is going to be your podcast show, which is actually going to help you out in order to form a strong foundation, a strong base, so that you can achieve massive success, exponential results, and in order to achieve the best possible outcome and to be expert into your own topics as well. And our first ever episode is going to be with someone who is really very special. And most importantly, I'm going to bring on a lot of people, those who are world class. Those are not just experts, but those are world class in their own behavior, in their own ethics, values, morals, in the topics they are having, in their own fields. They are best of the best. And our first ever guest is someone who is very special to me. Although he was from India, he is Indian from heart, from his core of his heart. Right now, also, he is an Indian, but right now he's living in Switzerland. He is completely financially free. He has worked for like best of the best people in the world. He has worked in UK and many more things as well. And during this particular podcast show, you will be able to understand that there are best of the best celebrities, personalities with whom he has worked. He's none other than Prem Anand Rao, and he's someone with whom I met in our own community, that is Internet Lifestyle Hub. And with that particular thing, he's someone who has actually worked with best of the best people just because of his moral values, ethics, and the kind of person who he is. So make sure you watch this particular episode till the end, because you're going to get a lot of new insights. You will be able to understand who he is and what was his journey and how you can actually kickstart your journey in order to be that kind of person, because he has shared about his previous career as well, where he was a butler and right now he is world the only, he's the first and the only butler coach, not a trainer, but he's a butler coach in the world, and he's the only butler coach in the world who is registered. So make sure you watch this particular podcast show till the end, because taking time from him, it was actually an honor and privilege for me as well. And it was like, although I know this particular podcast is beyond 1 hour, but still every single minute out of it is going to help you get massive success, and it is actually going to help you create the basic and the strong foundation for your success and many more things into your life. Make sure you watch this particular episode till the end, and let's begin. Prem, so great to have you here. First and foremost, how's your life going on?
Sahil, it's been good. It's been good. As you know, I'm now into the course building, and hopefully in few weeks, and it will come out, and it will change people's lives. And I'm looking forward to supporting new people into getting them into this line of work, what I've been doing. And I really have always been thankful towards your help in finishing my level 1 freedom finisher. And yes, the next one, Hall of Fame, is there, but I look forward to it. Thank you, Sahil. Thank you for asking. How is your work going
Everything
on?
is going very good, and a lot of new initiatives are coming up, and in future also they are going to come up in continuous manner itself. So yeah, thanks for asking. And first of all, the question which I would like to ask, like for the new audience, which is completely unaware about who you are. So who is Premanand Rao for the complete new audience who is completely unaware and who have seen you for the very first time?
Right. Thank you. Premanand Rao currently is a butler coach, who has worked, who started working as an apprentice steward in Taj Coromandel, Chennai, in India. and I got influenced, I got attracted to this line of work because of what I have seen there, the attention to detail, the ability to transform people's experience, and the thoughtfulness which went into it, and how you are, even though if it's a small time, that you can be instrumental in making somebody's time, that evening or that afternoon or that 3 hours when they spend for lunch, or to walk into that cake shop. I used to work in that cake shop. That little moments what you had, that little interactions, how you can make it pleasant, valuable, that really resonated with me. That really made me feel attracted towards this line of work. So I continued to be there. And while I was there, I also somehow observed a valet called Paul, and that influenced me in terms of how he was all the time very pleasant. He was an Anglo-Indian guy in Chennai. How he was all the time pleasant, how he set his trays, the focus what he gave in doing those little things. So that was in the back of my mind. But eventually I just carried on with the hospitality. And I did this for a few years in India. Then because of my interest for traveling, I took work on the cruise ships. In the British cruise ship, I came to United Kingdom, and yes, I could pursue the traveling. And while I was on the cruise ship, I was given an opportunity. I was headhunted for becoming the first butler of the company called Prem Cruises. So while I was there, again, I moved up in terms of the profile of the clients I'm attending. So my first guests were Princess Anne and Margaret Thatcher, and I loved being of service, being in those ambience of interacting with their security people and so on. So I did butling on the ship for about 4 years. Then because I enjoyed so much, when I moved countries from India to live in UK, I reflected back and they thought, what did I enjoy the most? Then it happens to me that this vocation of butling I enjoyed most. So I wanted to pursue that further into private household and private employment. And then eventually I came into private employment. I did this for 15 years. And then I did some projects in UK. But what I used the skills, what I gained as a butler in projects, it was quite successful. People, I could share this with hundreds of people. Then recently, 2 years ago, when I moved country from UK to Switzerland, I decided that...
So right now you are in Switzerland?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And I decided that I will share this, what I earned, what I learned with many people. So I established a company here, and I've been doing this through corporates and hotels as the next part of it. Now, recently, through digital coaching, I'm going to bring this to public directly, that young people who are in hospitality or who wanting to enter into this line of work, or the people who are already working in hotels, to get them better and to get them into the levels where they can serve very high profile people, high net worth people, celebrities, diplomats, prime ministers, to share this skill set, the values, for them to employ this and to become successful and thrive. And this is what I'm doing now. And this is what is my mission at the moment. And I'm working on this. The course will be out in few weeks' time, Sahil.
Thank you so much. That was an amazing introduction, and best of luck for your initiatives as well. So I would like to ask this question, like how was your childhood like? Because right now you're almost the age of my parents as well. So I would like to ask, like, during your childhood, in which country you were living, and then as you mentioned, like you have traveled to UK as well, and right now you're in Switzerland. So how was your experience so far in India? Because right now I'm in India, so even most of the audience who is watching this, so no, like maybe they are from India itself. So how was your experience during your childhood days and all those things?
Right. I was born in Bombay,
Mhm.
and I grew up in Chennai. My parents are in Chennai. My parents are in Chennai. My brothers are in Chennai. And I did my schooling in Chennai, of course. And then just after my school, I took up work due to my situations, family situations. I didn't further pursue going into college or anything. I went into work as just mentioned to you, apprentice steward
Yes.
in a hotel, and I just moved forward and went up. However, I did some education in UK. I have done hospitality management, and also I went to Butler School and so on. But that is further down the line. So I grew up in India. I knew very well, and what what really I felt was, of course, because I wanted to travel, I came out.
Yes.
I also had another issue because I decided to settle down in India in 2004, and I came and I lived in India for briefly for about 2 years with the thought that I will live in India. But the thing was, for me personally, when I came and set up my shop to serve people, I also observed that the huge amount of corruption and huge amount of things didn't sit very well with me. However, I enjoyed the companionship of Indians, the spiritual values. I love going to temples. I still, when I come, I go to temples. I love, for me, when I grew up studying Vivekananda and other things. So I have great values, respect for the ethics and for the values what my country has given. And I'm still following all these things. I'm respectful towards all these things. But in social setting, for my whoever I was, for what I had to do, I could not put up with the conditions which I was exposed to. So for me to be here, to continue my life as a normal individual with what you wanted to do, you can do. You can, there are specific dates. If you apply something, it will come. The formal things, it's done in principle. It's done according to what they say. You're not behind someone. You don't have to pay something to get something done, and so on. So these aspects of it, I'm really saddened about the society in India, the social setting in India. And it is not just to do with the systems. The systems can be changed and set up by us. But sadly, a lot of us are selfish, a lot of us are greedy. And so it is very difficult, and it has become such a norm, acceptable to pay hundreds and thousands of money to get a seat or to get things done, all such sorts. So here I differ a bit, but I have great value for the history, what our nation has for being the leading light in terms of many areas what we are doing. It's changing. I see it's changing now, and it will. I mean, no society can be 100% pure or 100% in principle or 100% clean, because humans are mixed people. Humans have their weaknesses
Yeah,
and their own things, which we have to accept. It's all around the world. It's not
definitely,
just in
definitely.
India.
So you believe that like in the span of your life when you came to India in 2004, 2005, so do you think that the time which has come right now, like post-COVID, so people have started changing their behaviors according to the situation and all? So do you believe in that? And one more question which I would like to ask, like as you mentioned, like at a personal level, every single individual is having their own like greediness or something, like their own desire that
Yes.
yes, they want to achieve this thing. So do you believe that if as a collective one, not as not at an individual level, but as a collective, if people decide, then can this particular thing, like as you mentioned about the word called as corruption also, so can this thing get reduced as well? So what's your take on this?
Absolutely, Sahil. I mean, sadly, there are people who have tried and tried and tried, and they've been discouraged and they've been ridiculed, and it's really sad. But I feel things are changing. Yes, as you rightly said, the whole universe has undergone a reset after the COVID.
Yes, yes.
And because it's a macrocosm, it's a huge universe, and we are one country. This is reflecting in our country, especially when there are spiritual changes in countries like India that would reflect more in a higher scale, because they are more affiliated towards those values than in the Western countries. Yes, the change is happening. As you rightly say, collectively things have to happen. And now the whatever is happening also, for collective doing, you can see success in much higher scale than what it used to be. If you observed, for example, now in our own society where we belong to this ILH, now people have started working, collaborating.
Yes.
And the collaborating people are more successful than the people who are working on their own. So the collaboration is the norm of the universe. People are getting in touch with the universe. Energy is more after the COVID, as you rightly pointed out. And I hope this will change the social system, economic system, and the values to some extent, to the most extent in India too. And collectively, it's easier to do. If everybody decides not to bribe, or if everybody decides not to pay for a college seat, then the colleges have to accept the norm, and they can only charge the fees, isn't it?
Yes, yes, definitely.
Because there are certain amount of people who wanted to have an edge and who wanted to influence the decision. The people, I mean, at the end of the day, even God has value only when there are people who are followers, when there are pilgrims, when there are spiritual people who wanted to look up to the God. If there is nobody, then there is not even a value for even the God. There is no churches, there won't be temples operating, So everything comes up to how we collectively make a decision and how we wanted our society to be. And that is one of the good things in this country where I live now. Every little thing is passed by election, asking the people, do they want this? Even if they want a bridge, they will put a vote and ask you, do you want a bridge? We are going to, like this. So I'm not saying it has to be so much, but we have to have people with values and principles and the good intentions at the top, and more of those people can change the society and the world. Yeah.
Okay, so that's greatly mentioned. And one thing which I want to point out at this point of time, like as you mentioned about values and all the things. So what do you believe, like what do you think about the importance of values, morals, and ethics? Because I think like these are three pillars which actually help as an individual to grow and have a, like you can consider, a strong foundation in order to achieve any kind of success, whether it is materialistic or like any other thing as well. So what do you believe? Like you can start with the basic definition as well. Like what's the importance of it? What's the actual meaning of it for the audience who is completely unaware of it? And you can just go with the actual importance of why it is actually like a foundation for anybody not in just form of skill set, but in the form of like a foundation for life?
Yeah. See, it's important for every individual. First, we have to appreciate that all of us are unique. And all of us are unique. The most important education anybody can have in their life is to know about themselves. That's the best education anybody can have.
To know about themselves.
Once they know about themselves, then they will know what values resonate with them. The same values what is resonating with me cannot be resonating with somebody else. They have their own values. They have their own ethics to make the decision under what they are going to do or not to do. So once we discover who we are and what we stand for and what is the purpose of our why we are born, then we will connect to our values. The morals are a structure which is socially or through customs or through your education or through your whatever, following your religion or whatever you are following or whatever it is, it has been there. And what you take out of those morals, the values what you take out of that. For example, the same Harichandra story can be said, and the same story can resonate differently with people. So some people might say, oh, if you talk the truth, you have such a big difficulty in your life that you will lose this and you will lose that. And some person might say, it's okay if I have to lose this, but I would like to stick to this, So that is based on what value system you have, how he behaved and what is his things, what he has done is based on his morals.
Based on his morals. Okay. So
Yeah.
At the individual level, it starts from values and then it goes to morals. And what's the importance of ethics? Like, what's the role of
ethics? Is the sort of like, for example, what is ethical in Switzerland might be different in UK. In it could be a little different, So that has to do more with the choosing to take the morals, to follow your ethics or not. It's up to you. It's all up to individual.
Yes.
Yeah. So how you connect the dots is how you will live. Or you connecting is one leading on to another, leading on to another. Does the moral lead on to your values, lead on to your ethics?
So as you mentioned, like the sequence of it, like you can correct if I'm wrong. So ethics is something which we get based on the location, based on the environment, like the overall decision which like collective people are taking. So that's what we can call it as like ethics, which people are following. Then comes morals. Like, let's consider if there is something, like as you mentioned one example. So morals are something, what is our take on that particular ethic, on that particular point of view. And then comes values, which is like from our own core, right? So it starts with value, then morals, then ethics, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm wrong,
I mean, people who are weak-minded will have their values oscillating. At this time, they will behave like this. At that time, they'll behave like this. There is somebody and they wanted to favor them. They wanted to get into that favor. They will become, okay, I will accept this. So this is, they keep changing. But people who are strong will stick to the line of action, will stick to that, and that will be followed through.
Okay, that's great. So guys, this is a note for you. If you want to be strong-minded, you will have to have strong values, like a strong base. If you you can consider, if you have weak values in your life, then your life will be like, in some situations you will be taking good decisions, and in some sort of decisions you will take weak, and so on. So at this point of time, like, this is one of the take which I have taken so far from this conversation, is that we should have strong values if we want to become strong-minded person, and if we want to have best outcome for ourselves. And we want to be, you can consider, we want to be stood onto our own decisions, that yes, this is what my values are, and I want to be on it no matter what. right?
And the values can be based on your morals.
Okay, values can be based on the morals. Like morals, we can even call it as beliefs, right? Like whatever beliefs we have. Let's consider there is an individual, as you gave the example, like for two individuals, like which we gave, like for one person, that the belief about that individual is good, and for the second person, that belief is negative, right? So
Yeah.
that could also, like, we can even call it as belief, or like it's different.
See, belief is actually a shallow thing. You know, the people who follow religion are believers.
Oh.
Because they believe. It's quite a shallow thing. They are believers. They are not seekers. Believers already have a preconception. Seekers are looking, scanning, and they will, when they find there is a huge amount of morality or huge amount of ethics in it, they might probably connect to it or not. So that is seekers. They are not believers. So belief is really why it is shallow, because you are going into with a prejudice, prejudgmental. It's fixed. You believe that this is north.
Oh, yes, yes.
Have you made any research? How do you know how did you infer that? You
By
know,
following,
so that is different. Yeah, belief is already. I believe Sahil is like this. I believe this. So this is very individualistic. This comes out of not a way. It's a preconceived idea.
So belief is
that
like
is why being religious is not good, but being spiritual is fantastic.
So what is the difference between being religious and being spiritual? Like, if you
being religious is you specific to some affiliated thing which is already, but being spiritual is being you are exploring, you are seeking, you are looking, you are always feeling, you wanted to connect, and you wanted whatever can resonate within your conscious, then that is being spiritual.
Okay, so connecting
religious
with
not necessary. Religious is like a very shallow thing. It is confined to certain dogma.
Oh. So this is also one of the biggest take which I have so far. So with this, I would like to go to the next question. Like, as you mentioned about that, whatever corruption we had in 2004, and right now it's changing and so on. So where do you see the overall world, not about India, not about the country which you are living right now, the overall world, where do you see the possibilities? Like, where do you see the actual, you can consider the changes? What can be the possible changes which can happen in 5 and 10 years down the line, if you can specify it, like with 5 years down the line, or maybe almost 5-6 years, and then 10,
Yeah.
11. So it would be short term and long term.
Yeah, I can just say from what we are experiencing now. I'm not an expert to look through into the future to say about 10 years. I have no idea what it can happen, because we never had an idea that COVID is coming. It can transform the world and things like this. So I cannot particularly say. But what I can say, what is happening and where it is going is that it is changing in terms of the world, the belief, the value system. What I can feel is, one side there is a huge amount of radicalism is happening, and the right wings are getting into power and things like that. One side. Another side, there is a huge amount of transformation which is happening for the better. So compared to 5 years ago, there is a clear distinction now happening between plus and minus. Negatives and positives, people can see it as clear as now, distinctly, and they are taking sides to one side and other side. That is happening, which means, and also there is a lot of good towards the after the COVID, especially people have started feeling towards the family values, people were spending a lot of time in weekends and other things in pubs and bars are now more into garden parties, more into family friends meetings, families celebrations, more into spending time to the family and orientation. So as I mentioned, in business, there is a lot more collaborations are happening. Bigger companies are collaborating with smaller companies. Smaller companies are wanting to seeking collaboration with bigger companies. So this, on one side, it is happening successfully, and it is people can feel the change. People can experience the goodness comes with it. And there is also one side where people are very quickly getting killed, and wars and fascism and things like that is happening another side. But more and more what I see is towards it is moving into the good and nicer parts, and the valuable parts of this is becoming better. People are having more belief into the goodness, and it is getting better, I would think so. I would like to believe so. In the next 5 years, this will flourish. People are losing interest and losing their belief in the proper education system. Now they are more and more learning from people who have done it, and that's why the coaches are becoming now into the market. And even your own example, you have felt that you don't want to pursue your formal education, and so people are getting more connected into the well-being and spiritual well-being and the universal call of the time now.
Okay, that's great. And even a few months back, I heard about this one concept, like as you mentioned about this, like good people and bad people, like the people with positive and negative energy are actually getting separated. And even in one of the podcasts, I heard about this, like whenever we are connecting to the spiritual being, as you mentioned about spiritual and being religious. So even at that point of time in that podcast, they mentioned that being spiritual, like if let's consider there is a any of the company, a big company, founder and co-founder, if they are increasing their vibrations, they are connecting themselves to their spiritual being, they're doing meditation, they're spending more time with family, like good quality time, and they're headed towards positive things. So ultimately the overall bunch of people who like with whom they are working, they will also get attracted with their vibrations, and ultimately they will also be a part of that positive change. So that's what I also got from that same podcast, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So that's the thing. And I would like to ask this one question, like whatever success you have got so far, because even at this age right now, I'm 20, so even I'm too much inspired by you, like as you mentioned in one of our conversation, that whatever life you are living right now, like if I tell you honestly, then this is the life which most of the individuals, like the people, those who are right now working really hard, and they are from the, you can consider the lower middle class background or middle class, or even like below that, or even slightly above that, they are willing to achieve the level which you are currently living, right? So like how would you like to describe your current life, like how it feels to live a life where everything is in abundance, like you have a good relationship with your family, your wife, and then when it comes to money, when it comes to traveling, when it comes to social interactions, so you are surrounded with positive minded and like minded people, those who are actually willing to make the bigger change in this world, like the bigger difference. So how would you like to describe that particular thing? Like, because as what a lot of people think is, like once we achieve this, then we will be happy, once we achieve this, then this is like the ideal life. So like I'm admiring you as like you are my ideal life where you are living everything in abundance. So how do you think, and what is your next goal? So would you like if you would like to describe that?
Yeah, what is my next goal? And then we go to the other answer. What is my next goal is I would like to see what happened was in 2006 when I came to UK, I was struggling to get into what I wanted despite my previous success. That didn't work out. I mean, I was ridiculed, I was lost, and I didn't have information and like this. But of course, when I got on to it, after about 18 months, I could get on to what I wanted. just before we move on, the persistence is very important here for people who are listening also. So I got on, and then I did this for about 11, 12 years and up to 15 years, I think. Yeah, I did this. And after that, I moved on to doing projects in UK. But then I did the projects. I was quite okay. I enjoyed it. But what I felt was, when I die, I would have only done things for me. So the life has treated me well. And what did I give back?
So you had that thought in mind.
Yeah. So this is the reason why when I started training for hotels and corporates and things like that, then I realized the more people who is in need of this is the people who are living common life. I was a commoner. I'm a commoner.
Yes.
In Chennai, I was, when I was 17, 18 years, when I finished my thing, I was commoner, right? So I went into apprenticeship and I learned. Now that the life has put me through this and I gained something, and I've quite I'm grateful that I could play in the higher level, not in a level where other people can look up, like quite a few prominent families I've looked after and things like that. So when I thought about this, then I said, okay, I think it's time that I should give back. I should make people to gain from what I have gained, what universe has given me. I should share this. I can share this for hundreds of people. Why am I just doing for my own restaurant, for my own 50 people, for my own company which recruits me and asks me to do? Apart from doing for these companies and establishments, I can share this to the common people. And that is what made me to now develop a course and to develop something to get it out there, to share to this into the thing. And that is why what I'm doing now will be very affordable and very accessible. This cost thousands of dollars when you have to do, and lot of people are in a position, but lot of people have the attitude and the mindset or a qualified position to play the game in the highest level. But what keeps them from going there is, if they think about going to a butler school, spending thousands, I have to do this, I have to do that. No, they can't spend thousands of dollars. They can't take a flight and come here and live here for 3 months and do the course and then go and get a work. No. So how they are going to reach their potential, recognize what they have, so my hotel, when they took me on, they would never have imagined what they can get out of me. They just gave me an opportunity as a 18-year-old guy who is here, who seems from a decent family. Let him come and work. I was another apprentice steward among the 120 stewards they had, right? But this is what it is. Everybody is out there, but there are people who have that potential in them, that they can discover, that they can make it thrive, they can make life out of it, they can make a lot of people happier and better and give joy, share joy. And that only can happen if you take it to the roots, if you take it to and that is what will happen when I launch this course. And I will also help people who are not in a position to pay or whatever, very economically backward and like this, once it is set up and things like that. So from what you say that I have done and I've been there, I'm grateful for where I am. I'm grateful for my current wife who is supporting me with this, because with her I cannot do this. And I really feel that it should reach people, and that is the reason I'm launching this.
That's cool. That's one. That's really amazing. So with that, guys, to let you all know, he's world's first and the only registered butler trainer. And with that, Prem, so I would like to ask who actually a butler is all about. Like before jumping into your
No, I just make a
programs and all.
correction there. But
Yeah.
there are a lot of butler trainers. I'm a butler
Uh-huh.
coach. The
Okay, butler
difference
coach.
between butler trainer and butler coach is this coaching what I'm bringing. It will also develop you in personal development,
Uh-huh.
and then I take them on to the career development, the vocation development, because the trainers will impart skill sets.
Yes.
The trainers will impart knowledge. The trainers might impart some of their experience.
Uh-huh.
A coach identifies, do you have or not? If you have, then they will get you to play your level, top level.
Uh-huh.
So a
There's
coach
also
is somebody who really tries to understand who you are, and from that point he will get on to you. For example, in this butler career itself, there are various divisions, Sahil. There is a division which is only hospitality division. There is a division which is like you are employed to run properties of high net worth individuals. You're working for celebrities. You're working for prime ministers and so on. So it depends if you personally have what it takes, and what you bring in, we identify and say, I don't think this personal thing will fit you. You better go for hotels, resorts where you can bring out what you have, but you don't have to be fully committed to be there and full on. It's not an intense full on. But there are people who can bring on full on, and these full on people will be involved in the lifestyle of these individuals. So all this identification, this discrimination, we do it in the beginning of the course when they sign up in the community. And this is why I'm a registered butler coach. And this is why coach is a difference. This is where the coach is different between a trainer. Trainer will have a 20 to 20, 50 people in the classroom. He will do the same standard teaching, and he will see that you got the skill, tick, 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 and you can carry on and crack on, that's the difference.
That's the difference.
Sorry,
Between
your
trainer
question now is?
So yeah, how would that particular program actually help people? And one more question which I asked, like, who is actually a butler, which you differentiated as well? Like, there are different categories based on the attitude which we have, based on the level of commitment which we have, right? So along with that, like as we have already discussed about morals, values, and ethics. So as you have also mentioned that these are like a foundation not just for a butler, but for anybody who wants to achieve bigger results and who wants to achieve success in their life. So I would like to ask this question to you, like as you mentioned about your programs and different things. So would you like to describe more about it, like what your programs are actually going to be like, and who can actually be a part of it?
Yeah. Okay. The people who have serving attitude is the key for them to sign on to the program. For example, anybody who loves to serve, who really sincerely can become joyful by seeing others flourish or giving some experiences which is changing others, which are impacting others, they can sign up. Number
And
one.
is there?
Number
Yeah, continue.
Yeah. Number two is, that is the basic.
Yes.
Number two is, there is a distinction. If you have a family, and if you have children, and if you need to be with your family quite a bit, it's a demanding environment, then I would not suggest taking up any commitment which needs you. For example, there are traveling butlers. This particular vocation, as I said, will suit the people who are willing to serve. But in what level is the next decision? What level is, if you have a family, if you have a commitment, then you probably have to take a lesser.
Yes.
The intensity is the same. The same commitment is required, but it's a lesser time, lesser. For example, you can go on a shift to hotel, be a butler or be a thing, and then come back, or you can go on a like you can be also self-employed. You can be self-employed. You have all these qualities. Then you can provide your services for a high 5-star hotel, for a high-end event company, for a thing. So when somebody does this, this will multiply their values. If they are working, let us say he is a waiter, he is working for certain rupees per hour. But if you undergo these skills, because you will have a more of a microscopic view about things, attention to detail about so many things, it opens up a different world to you and a different insight to you. Then you are readily qualified to work in a high-end events or any other company. Maybe 3 or 4 times you can demand that amount of money because of who you are, who you will become. It is in the becoming that you are trained. You will be shifted from one stage to another stage, and you will be given what are the cues to look for. Where can you get that information? And then that process, when you process it, it will lead on to, it will open on to your doors into many things. You walk into a room, you not only just look at the room as where the bed is, where the table is, where the chair is. You will look how they are positioned, what is the color of the tablecloth which has been used, how it has combined, how it affects your moods, what is the weather condition there in that room, what is the ambience, what is the light. Now it is going to be an evening, husband and wife is going to sit down and eat dinner. How can you make that help into the moods to bring a certain amount of emotions to create? All these things you will learn. So which means it will put you in a position that you become more sensitive towards all senses and all emotional interactions. Like you will use the words, allow me, may I, can I, and like this. You will wait until they finish. So you will become conscious about so many life skills. And that is the transformation which will happen when somebody undergoes this course. The course can help people who are in hospitality currently, who wanted to leave to overseas. For example, they wanted to go to Middle East or Far East or somewhere to work and to make big money. It will help them who are currently working, or it will help them to transfer into working for high net worth individual. There are huge amount of billionaires and millionaires who do not have a qualified staff to work for them. There is only Ramu and Somu there, but they don't have person who can pick up the phone, who can handle the clients, who can be independent, who can, they follow the instructions and things like that. So they can work readily for as a PAs, the personal assistants who are currently working. They can enhance taking the skills on, because there's a lot of people who want personal assistants who can run events for them, who can really book things for them, who can pick up gifts for them, but they don't have the thought process, the knowledge, the decision-making ability, how to do it. All this they will get if they undergo this course. So the currently people who are working in personal service are eligible. Currently people are working in hospitality are eligible. Currently the young people who are coming out, who loves serving, who thinks that they wanted to make a career out of this, they can come learn. And also for people who are already out there, they wanted to become socially acceptable, social skills, body language, all these things they can learn by taking up this course.
That's great. So as far as like we had a conversation right now, I'm able to understand this concept. Like it's not just about serving certain things. It's also about building ourselves as a person, and like from being person A to person B, the kind of person we become, that is also going to decide the depth of our individualistic, as you mentioned about like emotions and all the things, like the way we connect with our own self, the way we connect with other individuals at an emotional level, as a physical level, as you mentioned about certain words like may I, allow me, and all those things. So that is also what can be built up, not just for your for your topic base, but as an individual as well. So that is also what I like the most. And as you mentioned, like based on our own commitment level, like let's consider if we are 100% committed, and if we don't have any restrictions from our family or anything else, then we can go all in. But on the
Yeah.
other side, like if I, like commitment has to be there, 100% commitment has to be there, but based on our interactions with our family, like if our family needs certain time, so we can reduce the level at which we want to achieve, right?
Absolutely,
So, yeah.
absolutely. For example, people can start, youngsters can start on this, go out and very quickly uh, they can enhance their income level. And because of that, this what they do here with this particular thing. For last week, I met somebody. He was actually a butler. He's just on 30s, on mid 30s, but he is now earning more than six figures as a executive assistant. He's not anymore a butler. But what skills he's taken from butler has made him to be on the top level player as an executive assistant. He's working as an executive assistant for some industrial, for some entrepreneurs, some leading entrepreneurs, and he's paid very, very high. And they are now so glad that they have him as a staff, because unlike other executive assistants, he is brought in the skill set which he learned as a butler to employ here, and they are amazed. They are amazed about how he does things for them. So what they can do is the young people can come in, learn, go out, even if they are going to be working as a butler for some high net worth people. Again, that's a huge learning, because when you work for very high net worth people, not everybody can play the game there. Only few people can play the game there, because as you see, these people, for example, my last high net worth employer, one of my employees has a staff 340,000.
That's amazing.
340,000 people are working for him. And you have to imagine, you will be in a very close vicinity within him and his wife. You will be working with them. So these people, you cannot cheat. You cannot get away with shortcomings. You have to play the game in that level. And when you play the game in that level for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and when you come out, you become a really, really, in terms of efficiency, in terms of your emotional intelligence, in terms of your structure, how you organize yourself, you will be on the top of the game. And then when you go out into the market and start playing in the normal civilian market, not being there, you don't want to spend so much commitment. Now you're getting married, you've got children. Then when you come out, you are so well qualified. That's what is happening with this guy now, whom I met. And I have a YouTube video last week. I've had a chat with him for 15 minutes, and it's out there. So my thing is, if the people can afford to spend that time and has an interest, come and play this for a few years, go out there. The world is out there for you, waiting to take you on.
So it means like, even if there is an individual who is not willing to be a butler, or who is not willing to just be into this thing, but that individual is actually ready to learn and ready to commit. Because in the young age, because even at my age, we can commit 100%, because we don't have that responsibility barrier about the family, about our like our own partners, our kids and all. So at that point of time, we can learn those skills, and we can work with those high net worth individuals. And along with that, like we can have certain conversation with them. We can have a talk with them. And as you mentioned, like we can learn about efficiency. We can learn about, and even one more thing which I thought is that we can learn about time management as well. Like how do they manage their time? Because as a high net worth individual, as a multimillionaire, billionaire, and all, so they have to manage their time so that like everybody like if they are able to spend time with everybody, like they are able to focus on their business, on their health, with their family and all. So we can just learn about those skills, and if we wish to, we can continue that path, or else we can take our own path as well, which we have
Exactly.
in our mind.
Exactly. And you will become very thoughtful also, because you are all the time thinking, how can I make this better?
Yes, true.
Basically, this line is about how can I make things better? How can I make their experiences better? How can I make the whole experience, not only of my employers, of my colleagues who are working with me. So you are 360 degrees all the time thinking in everybody's line. It's not just one-sided activity. When you are so thoughtful about each and every aspect, or a person who is involved in this, being thoughtful to think about others and think about things, then that will condition yourself into a status that you, wherever you go, whatever you do in future, you enter a train to sit. Is this the position where I can sit? When you see an old person, you immediately feel that can I offer this to them? All this becomes spontaneously built into you.
It becomes
and then you automatically hold the door open. So this makes them feel what a manners guy he is, and things like that. So you are all that time into playing this game and playing this part and playing this as a natural process. Then you become a very refined, highly civilized individual in the society.
That's good. And with this, like, I would like to ask even more interesting question, which a lot of people have, like the people, those who are really very hardworking. And as you mentioned, like, it's not just about our own self, but it's also about like 360-degree transformation around our whole, like around our own environment, like the overall environment we are into, our family, our working environment, and the people with whom we interact. So, like, a lot of people have this belief in their mind. Actually, it's the belief itself. Like, the people, those who are like rich, ultra rich and all, they do something really bad, and they have cheated onto world, and like they have not did something correct. That is why they are rich or ultra rich. So, like, what's your take for those people? What's your reply to that?
I would
completely false. Like the belief.
It is really a fantastic question what you asked. One of the other things which you will learn when you start playing in this game is you would be non-judgmental. You would become like a water on the lotus leaf. So what will happen is, regardless of who they are, what they are, you will still be, you are employed to do certain activities to help them with their lives. And with what you don't get involved in, you might be working for a cartel, for a drug dealer. If you decide to work for, first and foremost is you have a choice to work for this person or not.
Yes, that's true. That's absolutely.
And if you willfully start to work for them, don't be judgmental. It's just they are doing their own things, and you do your own work. You are not there to comment or to make a judgment call. If you are, then don't take it.
So
don't do anything which you don't feel comfortable or happy about. First of all, once you accept it, it becomes a commitment, and you do. And what brews down this is, there are times when you might not be treated as well as there are times when you're treated very well. There might be times when you're not treated very well. Again, you have to have the emotional intelligence to make the distinction that if they are weak-minded, the owners, the employers have succumbed to their situations, they are not mentally strong, they have anger, they have anxiety, and they're offloading on you. But you should have the maturity not to absorb and get influenced, but watch from outside. Like you become a witness, and then you would carry on doing what you are doing. But when it becomes too much, when you can't take it anymore, when you don't want to take it anymore, then you already will look for other positions, and you will transfer, you will move on.
Definitely. That's true.
However, don't subject yourself to the influences of these things and get angst or get really depressed or frustrated. No, you cannot do this job. Only you can perform on your peak as long as you are joyful. So first and foremost is you got to look after yourself, which means you have to maintain your joy, you have to maintain your mindset, you have to maintain your moods. Otherwise, you are not qualified to be here.
That's a biggest take. One more for me as well. So like it means like it depends from person to person, like how do we actually how do we actually deal with that situation. It's not like
Yes.
rich people are doing wrong, because I know like we are into money topics, so we know that the people those who are actually rich and ultra rich, and even not just about those people, because there are a lot of people those who are not yet rich but they have rich mindset, and they believe in working with a lot of people in a good way. And sometimes, as you mentioned, like because of lot of work, because of anxiety, because of other things as well, at certain period of time, it could be where like you can have bad experience with those people, and it's up to us, like how do we take that in a good way or
Yes.
in a bad way, because we can also
Yes.
understand, like as a human being we can also understand, like let's consider you're working really hard and I'm working for you. So at a personal level also, if I'm your employee, so I can understand that yes, you're working really very hard, maybe it's your stress, maybe it's something where something is not working out, so it's okay for certain period of time, it's okay like for a few days, few weeks. But if it's like a daily practice, if it's consistently there, so we can just talk to them at a personal level, or else we can change the way, like the way we work, or we can also change the position or even the company, as you mentioned, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is important you maintain a high esteem towards yourself.
That's true.
That is number one. And number two is lot of people who are new in this line, they will think the more richer they are, they would like to work. There are two sets of people in our own industry. There are people who wanted to take pride whom they are working for, and there are people who wanted to take pride for who they are. Yeah, the first set of people who want to take pride whom they are working for, their life will be like, regardless of how they are treated, regardless of what they are undergoing, they will still choose to be there. They will not leave them, because that's a huge status symbol. They are working for the richest man, but they don't care how they do care, but they don't want to come out of this because of the banner what they carry.
So the pride is constant, but whether that pride is for the individual for whom we are working, or the pride is for our own self, right?
Yeah. So that only people, all this comes to ethics and values again.
Ethics,
So what they value, and are they living by their value or not? This is all their own choices. We don't. In my course, I don't deal all these things, but these insights will be exchanged. They can take and they can live whom they want to be, but they can take the values, they can take the skill sets to go and execute it wherever they wanted to do it. So it's important, just because by seeing like you are working for in the same corporate world, there is a situation, either you are working for Infosys or you are working for a small company, there is a situation. Similarly, there is a situation in private household also, and it is up to you. Do you want to be the tail of a lion or a head of a rat? Whatever you wanted to choose, you can choose. So it's up to them. But it is important that they are conscious about their decision and what they are doing.
That's amazing. And I would like to ask this, like at a personal level, like I would like to ask, how was your experience with working all those individuals, high net worth individuals, and how do those people actually think about the world? Because like if I tell you honestly what I've learned from my mentors as well, like this is actually a quotation, like poor-minded people talk about other people, and like average-minded people talk about events, and rich-minded people actually talk about ideas and betterment of the world. So how was your experience with those high net worth individuals, like the people, those who are having next level mindset, and like those are actually focused on making this world better and making the bigger difference in this world? So how was your experience?
What I observed is that they are extremely quick in making decisions, number one.
So quick decision making, yeah.
Yeah. Number two is they always see where they can quickly analyze where it will benefit them or not. You know, I had one of my employers, international bankers come sit down and talk with him. Within 15 minutes, they will have a paper and pen and everything. By listening and calculating is in his head. He can quickly, this I'm talking about is the transactions are about hundreds millions pounds worth of transactions. You know, he quickly can analyze what are the conditions. You have to be really to the point with them. You know, you cannot, when he asks you, you cannot think about how you are going to convince him. They all know pretty well.
Yes.
Are you convincing them or is it a fact? They can very quickly identify this.
So there's a filtration which is already like by default in them.
Yeah.
That's a good
so one. You don't spend time. They don't like people taking that time. They don't like people taking. They will not allow you to take that time. They will only give time, and that time very quickly you have to make use of. And if you can because they are quick decision makers, you can get the decisions also quickly. They don't take too much time.
Yeah, so this is
because there is so many things coming over and over and over again. Today, this 45 minutes, if they miss, they're not going to come back to give the same time to you again.
Yes, true.
They moved on.
That's true.
And they can live with it.
Like they have to be used to it because of the other responsibilities they have.
Yeah. And tomorrow morning they have a different set of meetings. They have today they had a project about Nigeria. Tomorrow they have a project about Kazakhstan or something else. You know, there is no going back.
That's cool. That's really amazing. And I would also like to ask this question, like as we had a conversation in past, like you have traveled to 6 continents out of 7. So how was your experience in all those 6 continents? And as you also mentioned, like the behavior of people, the way people behave, actually it's common amongst all the, like whether it is from India or whether it is from USA or from Middle East or from wherever they are, the behavior of the people is same. Right. So what was the differentiator? What is the actual differentiator which you observed amongst all the things, like all the continents, all the cities or countries which you have traveled to? Like as you mentioned about
I won't say behavior is same. The requirements is same. Requirements is same. Everybody, the requirements is same. The behavioral difference is there. For example, behavioral difference is there. It depends on the society to society. It depends upon the for example, in India, it is very competitive. They would like to rush to get that seat or get their motivation. Their concentration depends upon how quickly they can get into the carriage and get the seat and other things. Maybe it's not the same in other countries, but the requirement of sitting comfortably is the same.
So requirements,
all like requirements everywhere. The desires towards family, the hungerness or the quest for things, learning, or the feeling towards sex or to sleep and to rest and all these things is the same. But what is the priority and how everybody behaves in getting these requirements is different based on each society. Some of the societies are refined, some of the societies are competitive, some of the societies are aggressive, and so on. Depends where you are, depends what is the priority, and so on. So to give you something which is the Westerners find it very, very difficult to deal with hardcore Middle Eastern people. For example, they might say that this will be done within this date, and it can be 2 weeks, 3 weeks later also, and they'll still be working on it. They won't keep up the dates and things like that. So in terms of practices, in terms of things, in business, there is quite a bit of difference. In terms of business, I also found it quite challenging to do now. With India, there is a lot of people saying something, doing differently. They have no idea about what is required of them, and you have to first set it up. And if they understand what is required of them, and if they display it, not many times they keep up to it, and so on. So that doesn't happen in Western societies when it comes to official dealings, official keeping up things and things like that. If they say they will deliver, they'll deliver. This is the quality, this is the quality. There could be difference in delivering, but it will come on at least around the date. If it is not, they will keep us informed and things like that. So there is difference in behavior. There is difference in priorities. There is different in cultural setting. The requirements are the same.
That's good. And with that, like, I would just like to ask few more questions. Like, as you mentioned about different priorities. So as far as I have studied about certain aspects of life, so I think like there are three most important things as an individual. First is like it's not an order, but it's like money, and then comes health and relationship. These are the three important things which everybody is aspiring for. So at a personal level, how would you rate them? How would you prioritize all the three things? Money, health, and relationship. This is at a personal level, and as I've already mentioned, it can differ from person to person. So how would you rate, how would you prioritize all those three things? Which thing would you rank first, second, and third?
Personally, for me, the relationship is number one, and number two is health, and number three is money.
Okay, so first is relationship, second comes health, and third comes money. And why relationship? Like, I would like to ask, like, why relationship, and how's your relationship with your family, with your wife, and your overall society as well? Like
Okay.
why you
So
prioritize
that? We all know that we are not living ascetic life. We are living life in a society. We are living in a society. We are part of the family, and the universe conspires to help people who are helping people. This is the basic of the universe, and that is what is happening now with the transformation and everything after COVID. People who are helping people will flourish.
Okay, so helping people to reach their destinations, their goals, and
whatever, in any way,
with good intention.
Help itself is a word which has a verb, which has a meaning in any sense. It could be career-wise. It could be even to pick up a call when somebody is down and they wanted to talk. To listen to them is a help.
Yeah, that's true.
You're not given anything, but you're given your attention. You're giving your attention itself is a help. So going by that, as I mentioned to you, the universe helps people who help people. It's not just in the family, it's anybody for that matter. And because we are living in a society where we must interact, where we must cross each other, where we must be there for each other or not. This is how the norms has been set up. And because we are part of that, that is for me number one.
That's good. That was really a very good and honest answer for me, and even for me as well. This is like what I believe in, like relationships with not just about our own self, but our loved ones, our like the people, those are the people to whom we are helping. The relationship, the interaction should be very good, and we should be with a good intent that yes, our help can actually help them flourish into their own life, and they can go to the next level. At least from being into negative level, they can at least come to zero. As you mentioned, like if they're having a bad day, or they're not having a good day. So if they are having a conversation with us, we should at least take them to level zero, at a neutral level, and then to the positive thing. So that was also a good thing.
Yeah. No, relationship is not only towards others. Relationship towards yourself is also very important. And only when you have a good relationship with yourself, and when you have that esteem that you are here to make difference, you have a purpose of your life, then that's a good start to start, and then you will be able to influence and impact other people's lives. So the relationship with yourself first has to be the number one, which means not being selfish, but being selfless.
Being selfless. So being selfless is very much important as compared to being selfish. And do you believe like in certain aspects, like we should be 100% selfless, and in some walks of life we should be slightly selfish, like I want to
unless you look after yourself, you cannot help others, isn't it?
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So that doesn't mean you are selfish, but that is the care which actually, you are going to take. That is the you are not looking after the brakes are working and all these things because it is something which you must do. You are doing it because it has to be maintained. You have to maintain it. So maintaining first, and then that puts you in a position qualified to do the rest.
That's good. And with that, I would just like to come to the last question of this podcast, is that what would be your one single advice for a 20-year-old individual and a 30-year-old person, like with a take, like 20-year-old person is just now starting the career and 30-year-old person is already into some sort of careers and they want to make certain shifts, or they want to just flourish into their own career. So what would be your advice to both of those individuals?
Yeah, I think there is a huge. I'm also watching this, and I'm quite. I quite feel not sad, but a bit disappointed about how the youngsters are there currently. They have to take control. I mean, sooner or later, they must come to a point where they take really control of their times. Many of them are spending times in the social media and all these things, which are very, very shallow activity. That they have to come to a point where they realize it's okay to do that because you are young and like this, but you must recognize and realize this time what you are going to throw away is so valued that you can make to throw away, instead of doing 50-60%, do 5-6%, and then the rest indulge, but in a limited way. Take control of your time first. Take control of your time.
Yes.
Have some value in life. Just think, what is your value? What is your purpose? Who are you? And what values you have in life?
That's the second one. So first one is,
for me, it is important. When I was young, I already knew whatever I'm doing. I didn't know where I wanted to go. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know where this life is taking me, because in 18 years, I already entered into working as a waiter in a restaurant, in a hotel, not restaurant, in a hotel. Yeah, I was an apprentice steward. What can I Yes, I had a fancy. I only had desire to go out and see the other parts of the world, to learn how people are living in the other parts of the world. I didn't want to be a billionaire or millionaire, and at one point I did have that I will become somebody who will have huge amounts of money. But then when I interacted with money, and when I interacted people, when I could see that I'm able to make the difference regardless, and I enjoyed it, I said, what more I want? I'm enjoying this, what I'm doing now, and I'm okay, and I can go on, I can carry on, and like this. So second important thing is, they really have to get some values. What is your value? What do you stand for? So I took my values of being honest and integral, by reading, after reading Vivekananda and other people. So I said, I would like to follow only this way. And I was in trouble. In young time, when you follow rigidly what you took up, I wasn't shining as well. Somebody who was with me became this and became that. I could see them, but I wasn't bogged down. I kept my principles. I kept like, it's okay if I have to be like this, and this is the cost I have to pay. I'm willing to pay. I didn't get attracted with the shiny objects which happened around me.
So, which means like values and other things which are actually important at an internal self. Those things can actually lead us to a long-term success and sustainable growth, where whatever we want into our life, we can have that thing for rest of our life, rather than just for the short-term success, short-term money gains and all the things, then having nothing. So values play a major role. So this is also very important for me as well.
So whoever you are, fix some values, live by it.
Okay. That's a good
Not
one.
Keep on changing.
So values should be constant. We can keep adding on certain things, like we can keep advancing it, but don't change it. Like, don't keep changing every single month or every single thing.
Yes, you have to have the strength to sustain it.
Yeah.
If you don't sustain it, it will not work. Because it is not you sustaining it makes it work. You making it work is what it is. It is not that it will work or not. Are you willing to make it work?
Yes, true. Because those values.
No, you should change the way how you look at it. It didn't work for me. This happened to me. That happened to me. No, that would have happened regardless. But did you stay there? When this happened, were you there? No, you were not. You were not willing to. So, of course. So you keep on changing every year, every time you go to another company, different culture, and you take that on. You go to another company, different culture, you take that on. Who are you? At the end of the day, when you die, you have not lived your life, your purpose. Have you lived? So the educating, knowing about themselves is the most important for young people. And once they know, once they can live up to it, the life will fall in place.
That's cool. Like, life will be sorted. And similarly,
learn about handling money.
Handling money. Third is handling. First.
See, I did this mistake. I made a lot of money. I didn't handle it well. And this is why I'm saying to you now today.
So handling money is also important. Having values, and be aware about where you are spending most of your time, and be aware, like, you should take control of your time and your life. So this is your these are your three takeaways for three advices for 20-year-old. And does the same applies for 30-year-old as well? Like, who is
30-year-old? See, if you are late in getting these values, you get this. The same applies. But 30-year-old, what happens is they are already into the middle life. And then they have friends, they go out for drinks and other things, and the life takes on. They get married, and new child comes and things like this. So 30-year-old more into 20-year-old, work hard during this. Keep these three things what we just said. Set your goals, work hard, go for it fully. Give fully into it. Like, for example, I told you private household and other things, the commitments, it can grow them exponentially if they can enter into early, because they don't have commitments. 30-year-old might be different situation.
Have some commitments, like time commitments, family commitments, and some other responsibilities as well.
Yeah. Before you get into these commitments, enjoy the world, learn the world, but have these three put in place, and this as your foundation. Go forward, learn, enjoy.
That's a good one. So with that, thank you so much, Prem sir. And first and foremost, wherever you're watching this particular podcast, I would like to request you one single thing. Whatever takeaways you had from this particular podcast, make sure you share below this video. And along with that, I'm going to mention Instagram handle and other social handles of Prem sir as well, with which what you have to do is, this is like a humble request, and I would like to introduce this thing to all the guests which are going to come up into this podcast show, is that whoever is the guest, make sure you text them on Instagram or Facebook with the takeaways you have taken, so that they can understand, they can also feel that yes, whatever time they have invested into this particular podcast, it's actually worth it, and it's worthwhile their time and energy and efforts as well. And with that, Prem sir, once again, thank you so much for being here. And it was really an honor for me to have you here on our first ever podcast show. And definitely we will have part two and part three of this, part two and part three of this particular podcast as well, because I want to discuss more on values and ethics as well. And thank you so much, guys, for watching this particular video till the end. And looking forward to see you all in next videos. Thank you so much.
I'm so grateful for having me, Sahil, and I really appreciate what you're doing. You're such a young man. You are an example for youngsters.
Thank you.
And this has been a brilliant experience. In fact, for me itself to think about many things, after you asked the question, I had to dig deep into and come out with it. And I learned while I am giving this interview to you, I learned few things also along the way. And I appreciate this opportunity, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much for watching this particular episode of the Achievers Club podcast till the end. And I hope that you have got immense value, clarity, and you have got immense knowledge and wisdom from the guest we had, that is Prem Anand Rao. And whatever takeaways you had, make sure you collect all those takeaways, all the links to his Instagram, Facebook, his LinkedIn, and all the social handles as well. I'm also going to post his website below this particular video in the description box. Make sure you spam, in the sense you just, like, you can consider just text him out that whatever breakthrough moments you had, whatever popcorn moments you had, please make sure that you are texting him, you are just messaging him that what is the overall value which you got from him, so that we can bring him on once again, because I know you are completely eager to learn about ethics, morals, and values in depth, because even I am eager to learn about all these things, because even these are the things which are actually laying a foundation for me as well. And I hope that you have learned and enjoyed a lot from this particular podcast show. And make sure you share your biggest takeaways below this particular podcast show. And please, this would be a request from my side. Please, please, please do share this particular podcast with your friends and loved ones whom you feel that this particular podcast can help them out. And looking forward to see you in upcoming podcast with some new guests based on different expertise. Till then, live fully, love openly, and make the difference today. I wish you joy and abundance in all you do.